For people, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Milton, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some affordable universities in Switzerland for international students. So if you are looking for schools to study in Switzerland, this is a video you should watch till the end, because after you watch this video you are going to learn a lot of things. Okay, now, for those of us who are looking at possibilities or looking for ways to jackpot abroad, I want to tell you that Canada recently added or increased their living cost money from $10,000 to $20,000. Now, a lot of international students will be finding this very difficult to come about with their proof of funds, and I think this is the time you need to start using or utilizing some of the options in Europe. So I will be talking about some of these affordable schools in Switzerland for you to take a look at, because these schools, they are very cheap and the method of proof of funds to study in Switzerland is not that complicated. I have a video about it on this YouTube channel, so please, I will encourage you to watch while I do my own work. Make sure you watch till the end so that you do not ask questions again. But before I talk about these schools, these affordable schools in Switzerland, there are some points I need to drop here. For Switzerland, you do not need to know where Switzerland is anymore, because you already know. If you don't know, it is a European country. Okay, it is a member. I think they are in their own group somewhere in Europe, not where I don't know if it's European Union or not, but it doesn't matter. Now, studies abroad is the easiest option to take. Okay, and studies in Switzerland is the best way to take. If you study in Switzerland as an international student, you are going to work. The good news here is that Swiss universities do not charge a lot of money. With 500 euros to like 1,005, you can study in Switzerland. Then for visa application, it is not that complicated. Cameroonians, Nigerians, you have the embassy almost everywhere. I think for other nationalities like Kenyans, Liberians, and other nationalities or people from other countries, they equally do have the Swiss embassy. Now, if you want to study in Switzerland, you should understand that there are 4 different languages in Switzerland, spoken in Switzerland. They have the Romanish or the Romansh. Okay, they equally speak German, Swiss. There is also French spoken in Switzerland, and there is also Italian. But it doesn't mean that people do not speak English. No. So you should note this. That's point number 1. Then German and English. German, French, and English are the languages you are going to use to apply for the visa. You may be going for visa application, and let's say there is a particular document they need. It's either they tell you to translate to French, to German, or to English. So you should know that your documents cannot go away from all these 3 languages. Another thing is, you should know that to apply for Swiss universities, you need to know the course you want to study. That's point number 1. Then point number 2, you need to know the course of that particular program in this university. Then point number 3, you need to know the eligibility and what you need to apply. Now, it is now left for you to check which school is good to go, and I will be talking about these schools here. Let's talk about part-time jobs and jobs. When you are studying in Switzerland as a student, you can work part-time. Most of the time it says 15 hours per week, but that is the legal one, that it's on paper, but you can work part-time as a student. Then full-time, it says I think 50 or 60 hours or something, but it is full-time. So just know that during the holidays, you are going to work full-time. Then during school periods, you are working part-time, and on paper it's 15 hours a week. So these are some of the things you need to know. Also understand that there are 4 different types of universities in Switzerland. Now, these 4 types of universities, they do not have the same application timeline. The first university, or the first category of universities, are called federal universities. And these federal universities, their application period is from the 1st of November to the 15th of December. Now, the second group of universities in Switzerland you should take a look at are called cantonal universities. These cantonal universities in Switzerland, their own application period starts from the 1st of January till the 28th of February. So you can see the application timeline is so short. So it is now time for you to strategize and see what works best for you. Looking at requirements, looking at everything, tuition fee, then you get ready for application. So for federal universities, they are still open. You can check them now and apply. Examples of federal universities include ETH Zurich, and there is another school in Lausanne. I'm going to talk about it in subsequent videos. So they are open now. Now, the other group of universities, which is the third category, are applied science universities. These applied science universities, their own application usually open from the 1st of January till around May. So you have a long duration. Most times some end March, sometimes some April, some May. Then the last category are the teacher training universities. Teacher training universities, sometimes January to like May as well. Tuition fee is different. This is something you should note. Okay, now we have talked about this thing. Let's talk about what you need to know about these schools in Switzerland. I will then start with the first university, and the first university on my list, I'm taking a look at my jotter here. So if you see me looking down, know that my jotter is here. If you are looking at universities in Switzerland, check the first one, ETH Zurich. The reason I talked about ETH Zurich as the first school in Switzerland is because this school is one of the best schools in the entire world. And in Zurich, you are going to study a lot of programs. It is one of the best in Switzerland, one of the best in the entire world. And of course, remember I told you it's a federal school, which means that application is going to close very soon. If you haven't applied, remember you need to check and apply. Remember, most universities in Switzerland has an application fee you have to pay. How much is the application fee? Most of the time it's between 100 Swiss francs to like maybe 150. And when you are late to apply, you have to pay a late fee. Yes, and I understand, and you equally know why the late fee is put in place. Now, ETH Zurich is also a big school in Switzerland, and they have two languages where you can study their courses. They have English and German, and also their tuition fee is not that expensive. With ETH Zurich, you are going to be paying like 1,300 Swiss francs, which is almost the same as 1,300 US dollars. Now, also understand that places like Geneva in Switzerland, they speak French. Places like Zurich, they speak French. Now, why did I mention this? I'm saying this so that you should remember that I said there are some group of universities called cantonal universities. So Zurich, Geneva, Bern, Basel, these are some of the cantons, or let me say a particular canton speak a particular language and a particular canton speak another language. Now, we are going to look at the next university. This university is called University of Basel. And University of Basel, I think Basel is not far from Zurich. And University of Basel, they have courses in German and in English. Now, the reason I'm explaining this, the languages, or I'm telling you the language of instruction is, so when you go to the program website, or when you are checking the programs, you should put into consideration the language of instruction, because they are going to mention it there. Now, it is now time for you to decide if you are going to take the course in English or in German. Now, tuition fee at the University of Basel is 850 Swiss francs for both Swiss nationals and international students. University of Basel is somehow cheap, and 850 Swiss francs is equivalent to 850 euros. Now let's take a look at the other school, which is called University of Bern. In Bern, the language there is German. That's another canton. So you should understand now that the language or the courses at the University of Bern will be in German and English. Now this is for the courses. How much is tuition fee? 950 Swiss francs for both locals and international students. That's Swiss nationals and international students. Then remember, Bern is a small city, and in Bern there are a lot of embassies as well. So if you are looking for embassies in Switzerland, you should be going direct to Bern. Now let's take a look at another university, which is University of Applied Science and Arts of Western Switzerland. I was checking this and I realized that this particular school has some courses, though not a lot. Remember, I said before that as an international student, to work in Switzerland, by law, you have to work 15 hours a week. Okay, now during holidays, how many hours? You are going to work 48 hours for that holiday period. But most of the time, we all know that is by law, but we all know what internationals they do. So that is what you need to know. And remember, as a student in Switzerland, you are not just going to work like that. Your employer will be the one to give you the work permit. But in most cases, it is not usually very difficult to get this particular work permit. So in Switzerland, you are guaranteed with a job and the pay is very good. So put this into consideration. Now, let's talk about the postgraduate work permit. After school, what will you do? How many months do you get or years? After school, you have 6 months in Switzerland to look for a job. But you can get this job within this time frame. It's not a problem. All you need to do is just make sure you are looking for the job in what they want, the skills you need, if you possess the skills. And of course, when you even study in Switzerland, you have a high chance of getting a job in their country. But one of the things internationals fail to understand is that the language of the canton is very important. So as an international student, when you study in Swiss universities or in Switzerland, make sure you study the language of that canton. It is important. PhD students can move with family, while bachelor's and master's students cannot. So that is something you should put into consideration. Remember, visa takes at least 2-3 months to be out. Now let's go to the next university. It is called University of Applied Sciences and Arts of Western Switzerland. In this university, they teach in French and English, and the study language, these are the study languages anyways, and tuition fee is about 500 Swiss francs for both Swiss nationals and international students, or let me say both nationals and internationals. It's better this way. Then you can equally work part-time, like I already explained to you. And the next university I will be talking about is the University of Geneva. And in Geneva, the main language is French. So you should understand now that the University of Geneva is going to teach in French and English. Okay, they have BSc, MSc, and PhD programs in both languages. So it is now your duty to check or do your own due diligence to know which particular course in which language is suitable for you. I hope you understand. This is for Geneva. And the tuition fee for University of Geneva is 500 Swiss francs for both Swiss nationals and internationals as well, or both local students and international students, because a Swiss national and a student from Europe does pays the same, almost the same, but that of internationals is almost different. Though in some schools it is the same. That is why when I say when it's almost the same or the same, I say both locals and internationals, which means it's the same tuition fee. Remember, Swiss franc is not different, that much different from US dollars and of course euros. Okay, they are almost the same. Like that's the exchange rate if you want to look at it critically. Now the next school I want to talk about is the University of Lausanne, and the University of Lausanne is going to charge you at least 580 Swiss francs, and this is for both international and locals. Okay, then they have a lot of English master's courses. Now if you are looking for MSc in English language, check the University of Lausanne. Alright, but they equally have French courses too, but I'm just making you understand that Lausanne is a good school. The University of Lausanne is a very good school to check when you're looking at master's programs in English language. Now the next university, which is almost the last, anyway, I will mention something at the end. Remember, when you apply to these universities, gain admission, you need proof of funds for visa application. Do not forget, very important. The next university is University of Neuchâtel. Now, with this school, there is a disadvantage because of what? There are no engineering courses at the University of Neuchâtel in Switzerland. So if you are an engineering student, you may tend to look at ETS Zurich and the other universities. Remember, if you are looking at University of Basel and Bern, and you are looking at pharmacy, you are in the right position. Then other schools do not really, because Bern and Basel are somehow the most, or let me say the top cities with pharmaceuticals. Now, The University of Neuchâtel, they have courses in English and French language, and the tuition fee for locals is 950, while internationals pay 1,540 Swiss franc. So this is something you need to put into consideration, and always remember that visa takes 2 to 3 months to be out. And in Cameroon, when you go to the embassy to submit the visa application, they have to send your visa documents. When the documents are complete, they have to send it to the canton in which you want to go and study in Switzerland. Please put this into consideration. And when you are doing the blocked account, is either you get somebody in Switzerland to do the account for you, or you ask your school to do it, or you put the money in a bank that is in Switzerland that has a branch in your home country. A bank in Switzerland with a branch in your home country. I hope you understand. The most common one is Société Générale. For those of you watching me from Cameroon, this is the bank you are going to be using. I hope this information was helpful. Now, you have seen the information I've given you. The next thing you need to do for me is to like this video and subscribe to encourage me, and also share. Till we meet again in another one.